Hey Kotaku, this is Stephen Totilo, and I have got Liberation Maiden here to show you, which is a new game downloadable on the Nintendo eShop today for the Nintendo 3DS. We're looking at my 3DS XL. This game costs about $8, might be $7.99 to be specific, and it is an arcade shooter made by Level 5, the people who did Professor Layton, and Suda 51's company Grasshopper Manufacturer. Suda 51 is the guy who's known for such oddball games as Lollipop Chainsaw, or more specifically maybe, or more prominently, No More Heroes, or Killer 7. This game is much more conventional. This is not a game that I think you would think would have come from that same kind of guy. It's conventional in that way, although I think lay people might say, well, this seems kind of out there. It is conventional in the sense that it is very much a game that feels like you're playing an anime. We are 100 years into the future. We are playing as Shoko, the daughter of the recently assassinated first president of New Japan. She gets voted in as the second president of New Japan. We're in New Japan because the problem is Japan has been taken over by an evil faction called the Dominion. So what does a person do when they get elected as the new president? They get into their sexy outfit, they get into their mech, and they say, I'm going to go liberate our country. So she gets saluted, and she's on her way. The game's going to play as an arcade shooter. It may remind you a little bit, if you know of these games, Zone of the Enders, or Sin and Punishment, or even Panzer Dragoon. And while I'm left-handed and therefore naturally kind of gesticulate with a stylus in my left hand, I'm actually going to have to play this right-handed. They don't offer controls for lefties, so there's no support for, say, directional movement on the buttons there. Yeah, that's very anime right there. But we'll get through some of the action and then you'll see. We're just going to be in the introductory level because this is styled like an arcade shooter. It's a fairly short game. It looks like it's only 5 stages long. Stages have multiple parts to them, but it's more about a game. The game is more about going for high scores, and even within the gameplay, going for score combos, chain attacks, things like that. See how quickly you can get through things. Some side missions. Can you take these extra enemies out? But here we are, attacking and about to engage, and about to have this guy chatter in our ear about a whole lot of early mission briefing kind of stuff. So we're going to skip ahead off of the further explanatory text, but we're going to liberate Tokyo. The bottom screen isn't going to be that relevant. You see a hexagonal grid. Really, all that does is represent the playing field where there's going to be various sort of theaters of battle. And I am going to be using touch control as well as the circle pad. The circle pad is going to move the Liberation Maiden, the president, around. Hold on, stop talking, dude. So I can fly in any direction on a fixed plane. I don't have elevation controls. I can fly around, the camera sort of keeps up. And then shooting is very simple. You just hold the stylus down and you let go and boom, you shot. So tap, let go. Hold down more and you can actually highlight more enemies, and then you can release and you get more of a combo kill. As I do this, I am purifying the landscapes. You'll see that what looks like a sort of city island here is turning into more of a like park island. But gameplay is what matters, and the trade-off here reminds me of F-Zero, and I'm sure many other games that have a trade-off between offense and defense. And so in this case, what's going on here is that I have a health meter represented by a heart, and it's surrounded by energy that both represents my shields and the amount of offense I can do at any one time. So if I'm just tapping, I'm okay. The shields aren't going to go down that much. I can just tap, tag an enemy, and I'm fine. But if I highlight a whole bunch of them, you'll see that it actually begins to fade my shield meter away. Let me tag a few more guys here, to the point that my health meter might be completely exposed. So if I take a hit now, I would die, or at least get severely damaged. But if I let go, I unleash a huge fusillade of lasers at the enemies. The pattern here, or the flow of the gameplay, is that I'm going from island to island, or sort of theater of battle to theater of battle, in order to clean out a zone, raise the purity liberation percentage, possibly have completed some side mission along the way, and then I get directed to the next part of the battle. Each of these areas that I'm fighting in has something called a minor spike or a greater spike, and these are sort of the sort of towers you're attacking, and they'll start shooting out fireballs at you and boulders and all that. So if I I purify the bridge, which I guess means destroying the bridge. If I am able to pull that off successfully within 30 seconds, then I get some bonus points. So that's part of the extra scoring and strategic goals there for doing better in the mission. Obviously, I'm just zipping through here trying to show you some stuff. One other control nuance. Oh, and by the way, you see I'm taking damage because I have allowed my shields to get depleted and they're going to come back. One of the control nuances is that if I hold down the left trigger or shoulder button, then... Yeah, I failed the submission, big deal. I can then just go on a strafing run. I'm taking a serious pounding right here, though. Let me back off. Maybe I should shoot some people in the process. But I can, it'll sort of auto-lock on something, and then I can strafe, which is good. You'll see that if... Okay, part of the reason I have almost no shields is that I haven't been doing any good score combos. So I only have the potential of 1 ring of shields and the potential of only a couple of locked shots. Now, as I'm beginning to kill enemies, I now have the potential to have 2 rings of shields. And the better you do, the sort of thicker that whole band gets, or that those rings get around your health meter, and therefore the more shielding you have, and or the greater the offensive potential to stack up a whole bunch of attacks and then release them. Let's see if I can take this out. You get some different weapons as the game progresses. You get a laser, which is more just sort of like having a laser beam that is, you can sort of focus on anything and just keep it there. It doesn't last that long, but it is different than this, which is sort of laser rocket or something. And I am going to, I guess just, I'll show you one other thing here, which is that we have this special super move that we can use. It's her sword. So if you look on the lower screen, you see that there's the sword ready to be pulled out, or maybe you can't tell that's what that is, but I'm going to swipe it and then watch what happens on the top screen when I do. So pull out the sword, and then on the top screen, she takes out the big anime warrior sword, and it's like a smart bomb attack, and she takes everything out. Or took a lot of it out. Still have to take out this guy. So yeah, this is how you do it. You hit the top of the tower a lot, and then it exposes the inside of the tower, and then boom. Clearly, like a lot of the animes like this, it is drawing from sort of themes of Japan under attack, you against the army or the navy in this case, and trying to sort of cleanse and save Japan, a nation that was sort of often under siege. It's in a lot of the sort of pop fiction that comes out of the country. It's fun. Like I said, it feels like a lot of those other sort of traditional video game arcade shooters. The controls are a little bit weird for a left-handed person like myself, but I think you see I've been able to hold my own even while chattering away to you guys. And as a downloadable game, I'm impressed with the amount of... Well, I'm not a downloadable game. Liberation Maiden is impressive for the amount of voice acting it has in it. Just the complexity of the graphics and stuff that's going on is more than I was anticipating from just an $8 arcade shooter. So good stuff if you like this kind of thing. I know that's kind of a cliche to say, but it is a very familiar genre to people. If you're looking for a really weird Suda game, this is not your thing. This is not going to be your thing. But if you're looking for chain attack, score attack, arcade shooter, just 5 stages, but potentially a good amount of replay value here, and some throwbacks to Zone of the Enders and other games like that, then yeah, you decide whether $8 is too much for you or not. But I think it's pretty cool.